As Russian forces struggle in Ukraine, the rest of Europe is anxiously anticipating Vladimir Putin's next move. Especially true for Lithuania, which shares a border not only with Russia, but with the Putin-allied Belarus as well. Despite the country's precarious geographic position, however, the Lithuanian government took a historic step over the weekend, becoming the first European Union member to fully cut ties with Russian gas. Joining us now, the president of Lithuania, Gitanas Nausėda. Mr. President, thank you so much for being with us this morning. Tell us first about this decision. We've heard so much reluctance across Europe saying we cannot immediately cut ties with Russia over oil and gas because of what it would do to our own economy, because we would lose jobs. We have to wean ourselves off of it if we do at all. So what went into your decision and how difficult was it for you?
Good morning. Yes, we did this decision, and historically we had even larger reliance dependence on Russian energy resources. Since the regaining of our independence, we were highly exposed to Russian energy resources, Russian energy import. But 10 or even more years before, we just realized that we shouldn't have any illusions regarding Russia. So we have to do everything in order to make our reliance on Russian energy resources less every year. So this was the reason why we established LNG terminal in our port city, Klaipėda. We implemented very important energy infrastructure projects with Poland and with other Baltic states, also Baltic link, electricity link to Sweden. So this is the reason why nowadays Lithuania is more ready to break all the ties with Russia in energy sector than many other countries of European Union. So we wanted to show the example that if you want, you are able, and this is possible. Look, friends, you can do the same. And I hope that other countries will follow our example. And as you know, other Baltic countries immediately joined our efforts. And now we are just ready not to buy the Russian natural gas anymore. And we are putting the efforts to reduce our dependence in other energy sectors too.
Yeah, and you, Mr. President, are at the leading edge of this in Europe. Certainly, we'll see if other countries follow suit. What are the risks that you are taking by doing this? Immediate risks. You do share a border, as I said, with Russia. You share a border with Belarus. What do you see as the potential risk of taking this step?
We are facing the same threats as whole Europe is facing, and those threats are not only of energy nature or energy blackmailing nature. The threats are military, and Lithuania, as you can see on the map, is sandwiched between heavily militarized Kaliningrad Oblast or Kaliningrad region, which belongs to Russia, and Belarus. And Belarus is quasi the part of Russian Federation too. So those both countries are heavily militarized, as I mentioned, and we see a lot of military equipment there, missile systems, troops. So this is the reason why we have to react. And we are doing our homework. We increase our defense spending. We increased it up to 2.5% of GDP this year, and we are already committed to increase it in next years too. But we also addressed NATO in order just to pay more attention to the eastern flank of NATO. And this is very important, that we have not to divide NATO allies into different subzones of security. There is NATO as a whole, so that the security of NATO should be provided by 100%. So this is the reason why we need not only rhetorics, we need foreign deployment of foreign military forces, and this is happening right now. We have the positive decisions by many allies, United States, Germany, which is leading EFP presence in Lithuania, And I know that the same decisions we are taking regarding our Baltic neighbors too. So we think that we have to build the foreign defense here in this part of Europe, and then it will serve as the best deterrence factor for Russia.
Mr. President, in Vladimir Putin, you have a dangerous and very lethal neighbor. And the world has witnessed the savagery of what Vladimir Putin spawns in Ukraine. Do you have any worries about Russia encroaching upon your country? And in your experience with Putin, do you think there's anything that could make him stop?
I think, first of all, we do not have any illusions regarding Putin's regime. And we are absolutely sure that if Putin will succeed in Ukraine, there will be more targets. And probably he will try to implement his dream to reestablish Soviet Union in one or another shape. So this is the reason why we are ready to defend ourselves. But I think the most important factor right now is the success of military fight of Ukrainians in Ukraine. If Russia will fail in Ukraine, of course, it will be the best instrument, the best leverage to stop it. And probably the highest priority for every one of us is to stop Putin in Ukraine. Because if he will not be stopped there, he will look for other targets, and those targets might be not only Baltic countries, but I think majority of European Union countries.
All right, Lithuanian President Gitanas Nausėda, thank you so much for being on the show this morning. We appreciate it.
Hey, thanks so much for watching our YouTube channel. You can follow up on today's top stories and breaking news, or catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.